No, I know. It's amazing. So much energy.
I know. All right, well, it's time. He's waiting patiently. He's on hold. Let's get him on here live. It's time to welcome an NHL legend to the show. Let's welcome the one, the only, Mr. Bernie Nicholls. How you doing, Bernie?
I'm doing great, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. You know, let me tell you something. I'm out here in Philadelphia, and of course, I'm naturally a Flyers fan. You know, you were one of those guys whenever Bernie Nicholls was coming to town to play the Flyers, like, you were one of them guys, the players that would make a Flyers fan nervous.
Well, you know, I love playing in Philly. Always liked playing in cities like Philadelphia where they got great fans. Even when I was with New York or New Jersey with the big rivalries, it was still fun to go in there. It's a hostile environment, but you know you're going in and you're going to play in front of real, true blue-collar fans that understand the game. They appreciate the game. They appreciate, you know, even though they're cheering for their own team, they appreciate good, talented players on the other team, and they respect them.
Right.
So, you know, I felt good going in there, and it was always fun to play in Philadelphia.
That's awesome. How about, like, when you were, like, just, like, a rookie in the NHL, like, when you come to Philly for the first time, are you, like, warned by the veterans, like, look, we're going into Philadelphia, they're a little crazy, you want to watch what some things might be getting thrown on the ice at you or something?
Well, I think, in the 70s or early 80s, maybe it was a little different. You know, for me, I kind of like that. I love going into a place that's hostile, loud, people cheering against you. To me, there's nothing better than going into a building that with great fans that are loud and end up beating them. You know, like, as fun
right.
as it is to win at home, it's fun to win on the road too. And you know, and
sure.
especially when you're going into, like I said, a city like Philadelphia with great fans, great hockey fans, dedicated Flyer fans, but they appreciate the, good hockey. And sometimes when you go in and beat them, it's always fun.
Absolutely. Now, it's something I always wanted to, like, and I always ask whenever we talk to any athlete, professional athlete, like, I'm a person, and still to this day, I still collect, like, hockey cards and football cards and stuff like that. Growing up, I'm sure you probably did too as well. So when the time comes that you're now getting into the NHL and you have your own hockey card, what is it like to see yourself on that cardboard?
Well, I think it's obviously great. You know, like, I've collected all my cards. You get to look back and kind of, obviously it makes you feel proud, excited. It's great to show your kid, other people, I think, so for me, just having the opportunity to play in the NHL and then to see, your rookie card, and then you flip it over,
right.
10 years in the league, and you see all the stats, you see all the good years you've had. It's kind of, actually, it's pretty cool, actually.
That's awesome. Now, how about, like, I was going through videos and stuff today on YouTube of you and stuff, and there was the Legends night that the Kings did for you, and you had your daughter there with you. And what was, like, did your daughter, like, growing up understand, like, who her father was? Like, what was the point where, like, she turned and finally realized, like, wow, my dad was, like, this big NHL star?
Well, the problem with that is I didn't have my kids till late, and so they were really young when I finished. I finished playing in San Jose. I think they were only I retired in '99, so they're only like 6-7 years old. So, but my daughter's actually just a huge fan. She loves hockey, and obviously because of me, I got her into it. So I had her at the games. I took her. I was working with the Kings in 2012, and she was at all the games. I had her on the ice when we won the cup, and so she got to hoist the cup and drink out of the cup. And so for her and for me, to be with your kid, like anybody, even though she didn't get to see me play, I think she's seen enough, or like Legends night there, they show videos and stuff, and she obviously has checked out, or people have told her that your dad was a pretty good player, right? So
Right.
I think that part's pretty cool, and then to be able to spend some time with her as a coach or just as a fan. It's awesome that she likes hockey, so you get to at least spend some time with her.
Nice. Now, how was that? I mean, playing in the NHL for close to 20 years, and you never got to win the cup as a player, but then you were back with the Kings, and you guys won it in 2012, and you were like, I guess, you weren't actually, were you considered an assistant coach or just a consultant?
Well, I was an assistant. I was two assistants. Daryl just put it as a consultant. I think when he first said it, he didn't want the one assistant coach to feel like I was kind of taking his job, or because I was kind of more or less taking over the power play and working with the guys like that. So he just said a consultant. But basically it was the same thing. It was an assistant. But, I didn't win it as a player, but having the opportunity to be around the guys, because I hung with the guys more as a coach. I felt closer to the guys actually than I did the coaches. So I got to see what they went through every day, and I kind of lived through them, knowing exactly how they felt, what it took, what they were going through every day. So it was as close as you could get to winning it as a player, but
Sure.
There's still a big difference. I couldn't imagine what it would have been like to win as a player.
Right. But at least, too, it was with the Kings. I mean, I guess you truly consider yourself like a king through and through.
Yeah. It was my first team. I was there the longest. I got to go back, and I still spend a lot of time there doing their fantasy camp stuff. I do go to other places. I was just in Chicago on the weekend. I did their convention there. I always enjoy the teams I played for. But I mean, when you're with the team, I was a member of the Kings for probably 10 years as a player, and then a couple of years as a coach. So, I've been there the longest. So that would kind of be your first love, more or less, right?
Sure. I can't imagine, like, I know as a fan, like, I'll never forget that as a kid in the 80s, early 80s, my favorite player at the time was Flyers goalie Pete Peters. Loved Pete Peters. When they traded him to the Bruins, I remember I was walking in my house to have dinner, and my mom said, the Flyers traded Pete Peters. And I was hysterical crying. I was devastated. I mean, what's it like for a player? I mean, you were traded from that team you were spent almost 10 years with, and they traded you. I mean, it's got to, like, you got to feel unwanted almost.
Well, the first time you get traded, kind of devastating. And that's if you're happy where you're at. A lot of guys just, they've had enough of that team and they want to go somewhere else, and they look forward to it. For me, I was there 9 years playing. We just traded for Wayne Gretzky. I was playing with Wayne the year before. I talked to the owner. I just bought a brand new house there because I said, I just signed a big contract. He said, I'll never trade you. So I'd like to play with Wayne for another 4 or 5 or 10 years, So
Right.
The time when they tell you you're getting traded, it's a big shock, and, obviously you're a little pissed at the time when that happens.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Wow.
Yeah. And then the next one was similar. I'm in New York. The general manager there said, we won't trade you. And same idea. I get traded to Edmonton for Mark Messier. There's another guy that I would love to have played with. I played against him a lot. Have probably the most respect for Mark as anybody I've ever played. The toughest guy I've ever had to face, day in, day out. Both centermen. I would love to play with Mark for some time as well.
But how's that? I mean, mentally for a player, I mean, when you go through two situations like that, isn't it hard to like mentally like settle into a situation because you're almost kind of always looking over your shoulder?
Well, I think after your first trade, you understand the situation, and so it's easier to deal with. You understand the business, so you're more prepared. You learn not to trust anybody telling you, I'll never trade you, because you don't ask, because that's the worst thing you can do. So
Right.
I think after you've been traded once or twice, you kind of understand, and it's a lot easier after that.
Here's a goofy question. I was always a huge fan growing up of the Kings purple and gold jerseys, and then they changed them to the black and the white. What were your feelings when they changed the look of the jerseys? Did it bother you at all?
No, I was actually my favorite is the ones I played in was the black and gold. Those ones. I actually like the ones in the 70s better than the ones we had in the 80s. The black or the golden, purple and gold in the 80s or in the 70s were awesome. That's the Kings' third jerseys now. I like them better than the ones we wore.
That's funny. Now, how was it when you only played one season with Gretzky? How was that one? How much did everything change for you playing alongside Gretzky?
Well, I played a year and a half, but I played with him for 1 year and scored 70 goals, and I had 150 points. So I guess it's a pretty simple answer to that question, right? How was it? Yeah. It's pretty spectacular. Yeah. I would like to play with him for a while, obviously.
So now, when you were coming to a close in your career, you ended up doing some coaching with the Kings, but did you have aspirations to do any coaching at all, or broadcasting or anything like that? Or?
Well, I would love to still coach. My problem is I do a lot of hunting in the fall. From September till Christmas time, I hunt for new every day. So if a team would offer me a job from January to the end of playoffs, I'd be doing it the minute. I love hanging around the players. I love everything about the game. My problem is it's tough to get a job for half a year.
Right. And that's funny too, because didn't I see when you got now what do you get, when you win the cup, you get, is it 24 hours with the cup?
Yep, you get the cup at your day or your house for a day or wherever you want it. So yeah, I had it for a day. It was awesome.
And you took it up hunting with you or something in a tree stand? Well,
it wasn't hunting season because it was summertime, but I took it to a tree stand where I hunt. Had it up there with my bow, taking pictures with it. It was actually the second time. The coach from Pittsburgh had it in a tree stand one time too. So it's been around, that thing. But I definitely wanted to have it up there and take some pictures. So it was pretty cool.
And what did you had a party at your house, like an open house party for the town or something to come see the cup?
Yeah, we had it at the house for the day. I had it out in the water. I had it in my canoe out in the water, but I had it at the house. We had all the people from our town was there. Cousins come up. We had a lot of people come through in the daytime. It was pretty cool.
I think the Stanley Cup has lived a more exciting life than me. I really do.
Yeah, I would like to see a book have the Stanley Cup ever wrote a book. It would be pretty good, I'm sure.
Oh, that would be funny. Somebody should do that.
Yeah.
So now you're involved in this new thing now that I saw, All Sports Market.
Yeah, it's the first ever real money sports stock market. We had ASM Free was a learning tool. We had it going for a year, kind of just a teaching tool, how it works. But basically, for the most part, you can go on right now. You can go to allsportsmarket.com. We launched Major League Baseball in April. August 6th, we're going to launch the NFL, NHL, NBA. So you can go online there, and you can buy shares in your favorite sports team, whether it's the Philadelphia Flyers, 76ers, New York Yankees, the Dodgers, the LA Kings, It's performance-based. You know, I always tell people if, you know, I'm thinking you guys there are Flyer fans, so you go on. I don't know one fan in any sport, whether they're the worst team in the league or the best team in the league, fans that don't want to buy a share in their favorite team. You know, shares go for $2.50. Like whether you have a piece of it for $2.50 or you have $1,000 in shares in your team, it's still you have a little piece of your team. So, you know, I tell people, like, if we'd have started last year with the Edmonton Oilers, they obviously who they drafted, Connor McDavid, just amazing. You know, you buy your shares in your favorite team, but then you look around the league, you do some thinking, you go, you know, I want to buy shares in this team. You hold on to it for a couple of years. Their shares are probably going to double or triple. You know, turn around and sell them. You get paid dividends on every win. Every time your team wins, you get paid dividends on your win. There's a dividends pool. So, like, the concept's brilliant. You know, I'm kind of the spokesman for it. It's like just getting the word out. You know, when you explain it to people, I haven't had a person yet went, oh, wow, you know, that's really cool. It's not gambling. You know, we're trying to stop the gambling, like, you know, FanDuel, DraftKings, that's all gambling. If you make a bet with them tonight, your team loses, you lose your money. If you invest in the 76ers tonight or the, you know, Flyers and they win or they lose, you don't lose your investment. It's an investment. It never ends. Just like the New York Stock Exchange. It you know, it doesn't have an end. So the concept's great. You know, we love to get people. Signing up's free. We're going to have a great referral program coming out August 6th with our launch. You know, if you know a bunch of people, you sign them up. And say you had 1,000 people, 100 people, and they all played, you'd get paid, you know, a percentage of every transaction made you would get in your referral program. So it's a great concept. You know, we're, like I say, we just nicely launched it, but it's not gambling. So, you know, I think even the gamblers, even the stock market people, the people that love to play pools and stuff, they all would like to play it because it's still action and you still have, you know, a connection with your team, invested interest in your team. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And just in time for the new seasons of football and all that. I mean, that's going to be huge.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we want to launch it a month before so people can get in and buy some shares and kind of get ready. And then, you know, when football comes, you're going to get everybody. Everybody loves football, so you'll see a lot of movement in football, people buying it. Like, I know I got a guy now, they were talking about he's selling some of his baseball shares to get ready for, have some money for football.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to sign up on that. And the best part is it's not gambling. So when my wife says to me, you're gambling, I can say, no, actually, I'm not gambling. I'm investing.
Absolutely not. And like I said, you can buy a share in your favorite team for $2.50, right? So it's not like, you know, to me, it's like I like to play golf and against friends, and, you know, you have little bets here or there, right?
Sure.
It's not about the money. I just want your prize. You know, I want to beat you. I just want the action. I want your prize, right? So it's like this here. It's like you get a chance to invest in your team for as little as $2.50, and then you have a vested interest. Every time you watch them, it just feels like you're that much closer to your team, you know?
Right. Now, when you're saying you're buying a share for $2.50, does that price go up and down?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Once it starts at $2.50, so, you know, right now with baseball, we've been going for, you know, 3 months, so shares will be a little higher than what they started. But once everything starts August 6th, everything will start at $2.50. But, you know,
Gotcha.
The people will move it. If you get someone coming in, all the people in Philadelphia buying all the Flyer shares, you know, obviously they're going to go up, right? And that's the cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
Once they're all sold, and you got some, and then, you know, I'm looking at, I see Philly looks like they're going to have a good year. I'm going to put a bid in. I want some shares, and you go, well, you know, I got shares. I'll sell them to you for $3.25. Well, you spent $2.50 for them. You know, you're making, you know, 50 cents, 75 cents on the dollar, whatever, and trade them, and, you know, go buy something else. So they're going to go up, just like the New York Stock Exchange. When people, when the demand's there for shares, if you own them, you get to sell them.
Now, how about like when a season ends? If you own, stock and like you're saying, like the Flyers, the end of the season comes, do you maintain those shares for the next season, or?
Oh yeah, it never ends. Like once it gets going, it's just like the market now, right? Like it will stay the same. Obviously, you won't be getting any dividends from them winning because it's going to be, they're not playing. But
right.
The good thing is in baseball we go. So if you want to go that way, or you just hold on to your shares, and wait till the next year, but you can still trade them, you can move them, or you just hold on to them.
Now, something like this, do you think this has really, and this is I totally believe this, do you think this has, like, elevated all sports where you have, the big thing's been fantasy sports for years, but now when you have something like this, I think it just elevates the whole fan participation in sports.
Well, yeah, I've seen fan sports, never played it, but to me, for example, if you're a Flyer fan, and so you're playing fantasy sports tonight, the Flyers are playing the Rangers. Well, you go to build your Flyer team. Well, those players are gone, so you got to take other players. Well, the players you had to buy that night, they're playing against your team. As a fan, I always cheer for my team. I don't want to bet against my team like they do in fantasy sports. When in fantasy sports, it's gambling. So they had to pick another team. So now you're betting against your team. We have ours patented. So you invest in your team. So every night you're cheering for your team, not a made-up team that's playing against your team.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm in. I'm going to be signing up tomorrow.
Well, I think when you look and see, and once you go in there, like I said, we got a free version. You get $2,500 to play, just like Poker Stars, right? You go in there and you can play for free, or you can put $20 in and play for real. You go in, and then once you sign up and you play the free game, and then you look and you can see up in the top right, it says real money. You go in there, you go to PayPal, you put your credit card in, you can buy shares for $6.95 or something to buy 2 shares, 3 shares in your team, or whatever you want to do, right?
That's awesome. And it's all market. It's all sportsmarket.com.
Sportsmarket.com, yeah. And they even got a cap. You're only allowed $2,500 a year. They don't want someone to come in and buy the market up, right? And they want to monitor you. You don't want, it's fun. You don't want someone to come in that can't afford to put in $10,000 or something. So they cap it off. You can $2,500. You can play different teams. You can put it all in one team, whatever you want. But it's a great concept. Like I said, just the way I explained it, I don't know anybody. No disrespect, but the Philadelphia 76ers aren't the best team in the league, but they still have their dedicated fans, right, that just love them. And I know for a fact that if they played tonight and there was 10,000 people there and you asked them, you want to buy a share in your team for $2, absolutely every one of them would, because they just love their team and God bless them. I had that in L.A. When I started there, we had 10,000 people there, and every one of them to this day, I still talk to them on Facebook or Twitter, and they still love the Kings. And if they could buy a share back in the day for $2, they'd do it in a minute.
That's awesome. Yeah. Cool. Well, you got me sold.
Yep.
Now we just got to tell everybody else.
Tell everybody you know, and like I said, it's my job to kind of tell the world, and so I love doing shows like this and getting the word out. But like I said, for any fan, whether you like to play the stock market, whether you like to play football, hockey pools, whether you like to gamble on sports, this year it's you're investing in your team, and you have a piece of your team. Everybody in the world that's a sports fan would like to do this. I know they would.
And then you said the referral program starts August 6th?
August 6th. If you had a great following of people, and we'd set you up, we'd set you up with a referral number. So say you had 1,000 people on Facebook or Twitter, or 1,000 followers or something. You just get them to sign up. You give them your referral. They sign up, and they have a referral number, which would be yours. And then every time they play, a piece of that, there's about 30%. And if you got more, if you ever had 10,000 people, it'd be up to probably 50% of that transaction you would get. You just get a check in the mail every month for knowing people. So, if I'm telling you, if you know a group of people, a big group of people that you know would be interested, I'm telling you, you sign them up. That referral program's awesome. We're actually doing that. We're actually doing that with some beverage companies. I got a couple people are Old Navy, for example. I got a friend. He owns Old Navy. So every time in Canada, when you go into Old Navy, you buy something. If you spend $40, you get 2 free tickets, like a certificate for 2 free shares. So when you sign up, there's a referral number on there, and all the money goes back to Old Navy. Or you do that with soda or beer. We got a beer company. You give it to them. They put a certificate in their case. They sell it to 1,000 people. When they sign up and play, it all comes back to them. Just amazing.
Wow. Yeah, I'm in. I just signed up right now.
No way. Cool.
Yep, I'm in. The big ragu.
Yeah.
I'm on there. Nice. I'm excited. I can't wait to play this thing.
Good.
That means I can stop losing on FanDuel.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Well, guys, I got to leave you because I'm trying to catch a flight right now.
All right. Well, thank you for taking time out, Bern.
Thank you. And
real quick before I let you go, if I can just get you to cut an ID, this is Bernie Nicholls, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Who is that?
Totally Driven Radio.
Oh, but I can't even say that. But I'm on this flight right here. I'm on this flight to Toronto.
Go ahead.
What do you mean it's gone? Okay, but I got to go. Sorry. Bye.
All right, good. See ya.
How can it be closed?
Whoa. Well, that kind of sucks. Did he say? I guess he was set a flight. I thought he said he was going on a flight.
I thought it sounded like maybe he was in the airport.
That's what it sounded like right then and there when he said, "What do you mean the flight is closed?" I hope we didn't make him miss his flight.
Yeah, that's weird.
Wow. All right. Well, hey, go to allsportsmarket.com and sign up. This way it'll be worth him missing his flight. How about that? Wow.
Well, that's pretty cool anyway.
It's a cool idea.
It is.
It's weird, too, because I was thinking about something like this the other day because there used to be, years ago, this was like, we're going back, early days of the internet, somebody had a site called, I think it was called WrestleStock, and they had, it was all indie wrestlers on the site, and each person was a stock, each indie wrestler.
Right.
And you could buy and sell, the value of that guy. It was just an awesome site, and it wasn't considered by money. I forget how it was. If me and Frank both used to do it, but this was around 2000, 2001, and the site was going really good, and then they just shut it down. It just sucked.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a really, really fun site.
Yeah, man, there used to be a ton of those. None of the sites that I went on when, I first got on the internet are around anymore.
The internet has changed an awful lot.
It has. What are you going to do?
I just bought some of the Yankees. I just bought some of the Phillies. Because they give you practice money to start with.
Right. Now, would you ever do something like that? Like, would you spend legitimate money?
Fuck yeah, I would.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be dangerous.
Now, I only did one time. I played this game online that was called Virtual Movie Studio, where you have to predict how much money different movies are going to make, and then as they come out, it's like, fantasy football, but for a movie studio. And I put in about $50, and I came back with about $300.
That's cool.
Yeah, so not too bad. That was back in the days of Yahoo.